Okay, so party. Where did we leave off?
We left off in a pretty dire situation. We are in enemy territory. We're not sure what's going on. And our unnamed snake friend has scouted ahead and just nearly got hit by an arrow.
Are you sure you're in enemy territory, or are the enemies in your territory?
That's a good question. We're outside the borders. I think Alabaster thinks that we're in enemy territory. For him, the borders are very clear. But it's of course a matter of definition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe unscouted territory, unfamiliar territory.
Territory that the songless have encroached upon. Well, we saw an arrow fly and land very near, but not quite hitting our snake. Our snake, who now has a name. What is our snake's name?
Hethus.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
And I believe it's time to roll for initiative, because we should stay in initiative order when danger is high. You know, it's just one of those things. Let me just roll some initiative over here for our arrow slingers. Excellent. So players, if you click on your token, you should see in the upper left-hand corner a little button appears that says 0 period initiative. If you click on your token, you click that button, it should roll your initiative for you.
Are we doing high is good or high is bad?
High is good, baby. High is... Oh!
Ooh.
Sorry, my player on the map here.
Yes.
Just click them.
Yep. And then top left.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Remember those rolls, because we actually need you to do it from this map. Otherwise, it won't show up appropriately. Yeah. Okay. So let's add you guys back in. Add and add. Alabaster had 20.1. Gray of Morning Mist had 8.15. And Iskar Green, do you see your token?
Yeah, I'm clicking on them.
In the very upper left-hand corner of all of Roll20, there should be a little button that pops up. See it?
Yeah, I see the menu coming up.
It should look like that. I put it in our Discord.
Huh, I don't see an initiative button popping up.
All right. Well, just roll me a d20, and we'll sort it later. There you go. 11 plus your dex modifier, which is 2, so 14. Perfect. So the very first person, creature, thing to act is not White of Alabaster. It is actually one of the songless. And as you all kind of freeze and hold your position as the arrow hits the ground and then begin to act, you'll see one of these songless creatures, one of these large, bipedal, monstrous beings covered with furs and leathers and skins and irons, hops down off a ledge way over there and scoots. Ooh, I think that's probably as far as you can. Yeah, that's as far as you can go in one round. And hurries over in the direction of the snake. The arrow is just south of the snake right now. That's as far as he can move in this round. So White of Alabaster, you are next.
Yes. How much movement do I have?
You have 35 that you can move and then act, or you can double move.
For 70.
Yeah.
It's not quite in range of the snake, unfortunately. Because I think Alabaster's protective instincts are definitely kicking in here. We see the partners as extensions of the people themselves, so I would have a pretty big motivation to protect the snake here.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, I do think that I do want to move up, but I want to move to kind of a safe position. I don't want to be out in the open, especially because we already saw an arrow.
Mm-hmm.
We have no idea where the arrow hit from, right?
I don't think so.
But
Well,
we saw where that guy
You see it
jumped
as
down
sticking
from,
out of
right?
the ground, so it does look like it came from this direction. Yeah, and he did come
Okay.
from that direction too.
In that case, I think I move both myself and Dom here, the elk, right?
Yeah, you pick who goes first, but you
Mm-hmm.
go in whatever order you want.
Okay. And I can move them to different positions, and they both have the same amount of movement, right?
The elk has 50 movement. Elk is way faster.
50. Oh, okay, that's really good.
Yeah.
So I would want Dom here to move. Basically, can they occupy the same space because the elk is obviously towering over the...
So much bigger, yeah. So you could
Yeah.
send the elk in like to dash in there.
Yes. That would use up all... I wouldn't be able to act after that, right? Because that's more
Correct.
than 50 feet of movement, but that's okay. I just... The elk is there to protect. That's role in the fight. I don't know how many more enemies are coming, so I want to make sure that the snake is protected. So it's going to move in there, and then Alabaster is going to move along this wall here, using the wall kind of as cover. And I think my movement should allow me to at least go here into this little nook.
Yeah. 35. Yeah. You could go up to 70 if you wanted.
I could probably even go into this in a little bit. I'm a little bit more protected by bushes and stuff like that.
It's a little bit
that's
far.
75.
Yeah, there we go.
I think we'll go here. That seems good.
You move quickly,
And-
scurrying along the wall, sending your elk out in front of you to give cover to the snake. And as you approach and your elk charges forward, you can see the look of surprise that dawns on the Songless's face. This is not what they were expecting. Iskar Green, it is your turn.
Okay, so for me, let me see. How do you draw those lines? Just the draw tool, pen and line.
The
Measure tool.
Got it. So I'm wanting to see if I can move along over this way, kind of in this general direction here. So almost to surround them, if you will.
Now, your speed is only 25. It's a little bit on the lower side.
Yeah. And what about the distance that I can move?
So that's 25 feet and around, or you can dash to 50 feet.
Yeah, basically you always have movement and an action, but your action can be to dash, which is another round of movement, basically.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I feel like it's worth using the dash here for 50 feet because I probably want to close the distance as quickly as I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Down out to here then. Go ahead and just drag your character wherever it is that you want to be within that range.
Right about there.
Perfect. And you can also move your snake.
Let's see. So at this point, the elk is essentially stacked on the snake, I guess standing above it, right?
Uh-huh. Like kind of using its front legs to guard the snake on the other side with its horns pointed down and towards the Songless before you.
I almost want to go to this little... Would this offer some natural, I guess, kind of protection here? It's a bit of a ridge,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, well, it'll block visuals, obviously, and it would block missile fire if it's tucked underneath that ridge.
Yeah.
But in theory, just to play a devil's advocate here, if this creature moved over here, it would be no protection, unless it's hidden in amongst those bushes. which you can take the hide action if you've got like some cover. You could slither into those bushes, and then the snake could take the hide action if it wanted to, and that would
because I think the way we approached it was I was kind of having the snake play as a scout just to see what's ahead, not necessarily go in like a full frontal combat role.
Right.
So we're kind of in the situation now. We are in battle, or we are in, I guess, an encounter, if you will. Maybe not a battle, right? Because we still don't know exactly their intentions. So I think I'd almost want to hide now that.
Perfect.
Kind of accomplish the role of the snake there.
Yeah, you can slither into these bushes without any problem. And if you open up your snake's character sheet, I want you to make a dex check, which is just clicking on the dexterity text, that dex 16 plus 3, because that will that will be our hide roll. That's a terrible hide roll. It's awful. It's atrocious. Your snake does believe it is well hidden, but to all outside observers, the snake is clearly still sticking partway out of the bushes. I am so sorry. Okay.
It's like it's hiding its body perfectly, but it forgot to like put its face down.
Yeah.
It's just like popping up and.
Good luck.
We're going to go to Gray of Morning Mist.
The question here before I ask is, did you decide to be a generous god and give me the 25 movement, or because I nerfed myself so heavily with this?
Your movement is 20.
Yeah,
and
the hawk has a
hawk's-
fly speed, so it doesn't translate, right? So I'm like,
Yeah, no, you got the 20 movement, bro.
okay.
Sorry.
It's okay, we accept it.
It'll just
The rogue
force
being the
you to
slowest
be-
one in the party is great.
It'll force you to be more creative.
Yeah, exactly. I will dash 40 feet, and I think that'll be my turn. I'm trying to decide which of these gives me a better position for the next turn. Probably here, because then I can be up here. This rise right here.
Mm-hmm. The one
Is
right
it
behind
like
you?
sloping upwards
Or
and then
this one?
downwards? Like, is that middle point the highest?
Yes.
Okay. So like, I'm just thinking because like next turn, obviously, I wouldn't be able to have a shot from like right here because I'm on lower ground. So I will dash my 40 feet, and that's basically all I'm going to be able to do.
Okay.
Let's go to... So if I go here, if something comes behind us, I have like a advantage point. So I think like right there is good.
Lovely. And your hawk, how would you like to move them?
Mithra is probably going to move here and like perch on these. It's not going to directly engage in combat, but it's going to like move up here to this high ground and have like a bit of a perch. And I think we still have the sounds of like animals around us, right?
Oh yeah,
so
it's a jungle out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Mithra's probably gonna do a perception check, and you can roll that for me and Secret because it's more fun. And trying to see if there's like others, and then we'll call out if it.
Yeah, you do not get a call from Mithra of unusual dangers in the area.
And for future reference, because I'll probably be doing a lot of stealth checks, you can roll those for me as well. It's more fun not knowing.
Of
That'll be my turn.
course. Perfect. All right, the next creature to act is this guy way over here, coming out of the darkness, out of the shadows, out of its hidden position up on a hill. This creature is going to come over here, 30 feet of movement, because it's heard the calls and the shouts of the other songless. You will all notice, I think, except for maybe Pichal, that it is wielding a bow, a long bow in both hands. And it does indeed see our dear friend Iskar Green, and it sees this giant elk that charged forward. And being the good hunter friend, it's going to open up with a pair of bow shots because it gets 2 attacks per round on Pichal's elk. Are you ready to lose your first creature, Pichal?
Hey, I haven't got any experience attached to it yet, so.
That's right. Chow! A 16 will strike the elk for 7 piercing damage. And a second shot with the longbow is an 18,
Jesus, chill. Koibu.
burying itself in your elk for 4 piercing damage.
Whoa. Is it on 2?
It is on 2 hit points.
What the fuck?
A pair of arrows, exactly what a hunter would do, plunges into the elk. The other hunter down here, who had a bow in hand as he came down, is now staring at this elk, which is maybe not a creature you want to tango with. But also, there's creatures, and it has seen you, and it has seen you. And the songless will shout out in a language foreign to you, something like deep and guttural with really harsh consonants, as it backs the frick up. It will actually do a full dash. It's going to take a dash out to here with its bow, getting some distance between it and you, giving White of Alabaster the next round.
Is the trapped elk doing anything?
It is tied to the ground by each of its paws. Hooves? Hooves.
Okay. So does our culture have bows? We have bows, right? We know what this is.
Yeah.
I've encountered this before.
Yeah,
okay.
I have
Yes.
bows. I have
Yeah,
bows.
yeah.
So.
Okay. Oh, this sucks. This guy's in a really good position. Probably best. So Dimer needs to switch out. He needs to leave right now.
Yeah.
And running along the wall that it's next to as cover. Let's see. I think the safest position. Oh, I like that.
Oh my god, Peachel. I've noticed
lot
a
of
huge
movement.
error.
Uh-huh.
You only have 2 spells.
Yes.
You should have way more spells in your repertoire than that.
I wasn't going to bring it up. I thought you...
I
thought it
don't
was
know
just
how we
shit.
missed this. Oh no.
I was like, oh, I don't get a healing spell yet. Okay.
No, you absolutely should. You should have a lot of spells that you can choose from. This is a terrible time to realize such a gaping hole. I'm just gonna add in one more spell.
Well, it's a
and
good thing that
then-
you realized at all, because we could have done this the entire time. You would have been like, why the fuck is this motherfucker not using any of his spells? Is he not reading his character sheet again? Like,
I should have known. I should have.
yeah.
Okay, there you go. You should have Cure Wounds in your repertoire now.
Beautiful. Let me read it real quick. 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability.
That's gonna be
modifier.
2 for you, so D8 plus 2.
That's really good.
Yeah.
But that archer dealt oh wait, there's 2 archers, right? Yeah, they dealt like 15 in a round.
Yeah.
I do think, and you said I can do the order of my 2 can do like they can basically.
One has to go before the other. They can't.
Okay.
You can't half turn.
Okay. Yeah, because I was wondering if I want him to run back and then I heal him, then he runs further, but we're not doing that.
No, it's
In
too
that
strong. I've
case-
tried it before. It's wildly overpowered if you can sort of in tandem act.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What is and the range of cure wounds
It's
is
a touch spell.
Touch. So I have to be like right next to him, basically.
Right up on him.
Okay. Well, priority number 1 is getting down here to cover, which I've already measured out. It should be easily doable for him to run his 70 feet of movement to here.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
And then I'm not quite going to reach him for a heal. But I do think that the best approach that I have right now is not through this line where they have like perfect sight on me and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, actually.
What's it going to be?
Fuck. There's not really a better place for cover, to be honest.
So you should just go right into the open then, if there's no point in cover, right? Just
Well, hold on.
headlong charge
Um,
with your 10 AC and 7 HP.
I'll play it slow, and I'll have Alabaster move to this nook.
Backing up.
Yeah, or there's like a tree here and stuff for cover.
Yeah, there's a lot of good
but
cover.
Feel like, because I feel like hold on. Like this position here is kind of ass still. I think this is the best we can go right now. Just kind of backing up, making sure we're in a safe position, and then
Sure, you
seeing how we
still
can
have an
approach maybe
action
from the
if you
side
would
or
like.
something. I do, but I guess I could just use the next bit of movement, huh? If I want to do that anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll move to the same position as Dom here, so I can
Perfect.
potentially heal him next turn, yeah.
Yeah, we'll say you're up against that wall, keeping yourself nice and close. Iskar Green. You've seen that one
So-
guy who came on the ground back the heck up. You've seen the elk and Alabaster flee.
Quick flavoring of this round, I guess. Alabaster shocked and probably also hurt by because an arrow just hit the elk. I'm assuming I feel that pain, right?
You don't feel the pain, you feel the emotion. The emotion
Yes.
of surprise, shock, hurt, maybe a little anger.
Yes. I think a lot of it is anger, adrenaline, and stuff like that. Because I'm imagining these elks to be like, they're raised to be protectors, right? And that's how they're kind of seeing this. It's not as much as like, oh, I gotta get the fuck out of here. It's more like, oh, shit's going down, and I'm gonna have to lock in. Super in his element, super focused, and for the first time in his life, Alabaster is like, oh, this is what I trained. This is what I was, trained for, and this is what I studied for. Very nervous, but also very focused. Commands the elk to run behind the corner, and then runs next to him, backs up against the wall.
Okay.
We have to take cover. Look out!
Iskar.
So, Iskar's very freaked out right now. He was kind of cocky going into this. Really this is what I've always wanted to, really be outside of the barrier, see what's out there. And he finally had a good excuse, but after seeing what just happened, he's kind of thinking, wow, shit, maybe I'm in too deep. But definitely I think leaning towards a defensive maneuver here, because after seeing that they do intend to attack and they're in a very advantageous position over us, I don't think, just running in blindly is the best move here. Let's see. I'm debating between, do I just full on start the retreat in the opposite direction, so the way that I came from, or do I kind of move in parallel to them but stay in cover? Because I guess I would, if I was to kind of move along this way, maybe approach them but defensively, would I be able to kind of go in here and hide for the time being?
Well, just like your snake, you can take a hide action on your turn. So if you want to move into a place that looks like it has good cover, you can take a hide action.
Let's see. Yeah, I think I want to go right in here, right there, and then hide.
Excellent. I want to
Lot of hiding.
add something to your character sheet real quick. There we go. You have unarmored defense from being a monk. Your AC is 14, not 12. Perfect. Okay. Go ahead and move. You had that 25 feet. It's a little far, right? Your movement was 20, 25. So you got to be still in this section of bush or down to this section.
Let's think about this here. Let's see. Now I'm kind of second guessing it. Yeah, because I feel like the only good cover is really a little too towards their line of fire. Yeah, I'm thinking I actually am going to retreat in the other direction. Let's say, like... Let's go in here.
Perfect.
And then hide.
Right. And you don't have a stealth proficiency, so I'm going to make a dex check for you in secret to see how well you're hiding, because it's a good idea to do that in secret. So you think you're hiding very well in this bush. Just is fine. And you're a snake?
All right.
Is it staying where they are? Moving? Scurrying?
So if they were to stay, right, because they're hiding now but not really well hidden, would they be able to attempt to get better hidden from the same position?
I think they've made their best attempt, and they are under the impression that they are doing well.
Okay.
But you and I know that it's
Yeah.
not true. Yeah, they can stay there if that's what you'd like.
Yeah, they're going to stay put for now.
All right, Gray of Morning Mist.
I
Sure.
will move. I will move to. So initially, when it looked like you were gonna move forward, there was gonna be this interesting dynamic where Gray is sort of like in between of these two, and one's retreating, one's moving forward. He was gonna have to make a choice, but since you're retreating, that makes it a lot easier for us. Let me zoom in. I'm trying to get an idea of how big this foliage. It looks pretty like this like bush area and the tree.
Oh yeah, super bushy.
I am going to move into this sort of like. Oops.
Yep.
We're gonna slip into this pretty dense foliage here, and I will attempt to hide at a +6.
+6. Oh, you took stealth as a
Expertise, yeah.
Excellent. All right, you put yourself in the bush, dipping from view from those around you. When the returning calls of the songless hunters come by, and one of these creatures putting away its bow, picking up its spear, and hopping off this ledge. And I think de-equipping your bow appropriately is probably an action. You know, putting it away, picking the spear up off of the ground, getting down off the ledge, and starting to move forward as its turn. And the next hunter, its spear is where it ran from, where it came from. It doesn't have its spear anymore, and it's not going to go back and get it. So it's going to do 30 feet, and then it's going to check its line of sight. Can it see? No. It scans the area, sees nothing, and is going to move another 30 feet forward, being careful, keeping to the high ground as much as possible. And that leaves us with White of Alabaster.
Quick question on high ground. My interpretation of this map is the two highest points are here, and the like next tier would be like these. Is that accurate?
I would say that like this point, these two are high, as you had said. And then this is the second, and then this and this is all the third layer.
Gotcha. I think.
White of Alabaster. They're coming for you.
Okay. Alabaster tries as hard as he can to think of some strategy here, how we could approach this. This archer, how do I ping?
Hold, click and hold with the mouse. Yeah.
Did he jump down?
He did. He lowered himself down. Yeah. Hopped off the ledge.
Yeah. Okay. I think I probably say to my allies, we should hold this position. I think they're coming.
Okay.
Seeing how there's like no good way for us to approach right now. And he's going to cast Cure Wounds. This is a cantrip?
No, it should be a spell. So you should take one of your 2 spell slots.
Got it. Oh yeah, I have no cantrips.
You're supposed to have cantrips. We completely forgot to fill out your spell section, and it's a huge travesty, which we will fix.
Gotcha. Okay. What if Alabaster will cast Cure Light Wounds on Dom here? Or Cure Wounds, which...
D8 plus 2.
Wait, if I put it in chat, it just puts the... Okay,
Yeah, I'll probably just put the description.
I got you. That's a 9 HP heal.
Almost full. You can feel the relief wash over Dahmer as they, give a little Elky of gratitude.
That's right.
Iskar. Sorry, I assumed.
I guess I still both have movement for both of them, but I did say I would hold my position. I think I would want to kind of wait here. I'm trying to think, how does one hold a position and try to ambush around a corner with a fucking elk? That's not gonna work. I think I would have... So I think I would hold my position, kind of look around the corner and like ready myself for someone to come around in case that happens, right? Which like obviously they're not going to be able to do it with their movement, but I don't know that. And I'd probably have Dom here. I can't have him be in line of sight, I guess. Maybe he can go into these bushes and kind of get ready to charge. I have something because he has better like... He'll have a pretty good point of seeing like if something comes, while also with like bushes being here and stuff like that, right?
Probably he's a
not
large
being super
elk,
in like line of sight.
So these bushes might not hide him very well, but maybe. Okay.
If this guy goes down there, he's probably gonna be in line of sight. Yeah, I instruct him to stay on the wall here.
Okay. Gray. No, not gray. Iskar green.
All right. So to ping, you just hold like that? Yeah. So this creature looks like they could be heading either, they're either going down this path here or they're coming up here. So I'm kind of hoping maybe that I can find another area of cover that's a little closer to them and try to flank them as they head, in that general direction, hoping they don't see me again. Okay. So let's see. Either these bushes here or this like tree cover / bushes.
Yeah, you could easily move right back into these.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm going to go in here and just hide for now.
Perfect.
Trying to cover a few options there.
Whoop. I will give you a little hide check over here. Thank you very much. Excellent. And Snake is still hiding.
Yeah.
Where they are. Or moving?
This creature here, I mean, they have that ledge there. I guess they could jump down, right? Because that's what the other one had just done. Because I'm anticipating, this creature heading either up this little hill where I'm at or down this kind of path where the retreat just happened. So I'm wondering... So if I stay put... I could try to get them from behind, maybe even attack, because we would have them surrounded. So do I want to move into these bushes here, or do I just want to stay put again? Yeah, I'll take my chances. I'm going to go in here and try to hide.
All right. The snake will slither across the path, moving upward, hiding again. Okay. Excellent. Our next hunter. This is the one over here with the spear in hand. The bow, slung over the shoulder, but spear in hand. And this guy is going at a nice click. He is running.
Did I get skipped?
I think you totally did. I'm so sorry. Grave Morning Mist, please.
From my interpretation of how you described it, there's no like this overhang here blocks like this.
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay. So I'm confident if I'm staying low, he's not going to be able to see me. So I can go like staying in cover of the bushes. Like that's a 20. Why is that 25? Oh, because of the double, because of path around the corners, right?
Oh,
yeah. I can just like this actually. So I want to get into this little bush here, I think. How far away does that put me? I'm pretty aware of the range of my short bow and how things work. This right here would be dangerous because he would be able to see me, so I probably don't want to move until he does that. However, I do have pretty good movement to these bushes here. I would have low ground, but I mean that's also.
You are currently hidden, so
far as
you
I'm
have advantage on your attack roll if you are unseen.
It would be normal because of a long range of short bow, but I'm just trying to think of the positioning for further turns. I think right here, I probably have to hide again. I think I have to justify hiding again if I do this. But here, I'm still in long range, and it gives me a better. Are these level things I have areas between right now? Like
About the left one's a little bit higher at that point. You know, it's like
Not enough
higher
to, like,
here, but lower here.
that it's restrictive, probably.
Nah, these creatures are tall. They're, you know, like 6 foot tall monstrosities. They're huge.
I'm gonna move here, and I have a relatively, while there aren't a lot of like staying in my bushes, staying low, I am aware that there's like a guy generally here. I probably can't see him. I might be able to, but who knows? I'm not really paying attention to that. I can't be like between the things, but I'm like trying to actually. Here's like better. There-ish.
Perfect.
Like it's so weird because the place I want to be is like between them. You see what I'm getting at? Is
Yeah. You want to be
I'm trying
here.
to get this view right here because I know where Iskar is.
Yeah.
And my current thought is to support him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move here, staying low. I'm not going to have my bow drawn, and the one who grabbed the spear is the one up here, right?
That
Was
one.
it the lower one.
It's the upper one.
Upper one. So he has his spear out. So
Yeah.
I have a feeling that he might go towards Iskar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay here, stand slow, bow out, and I'm going to ready a shot to attack it if it comes in melee range of Iskar. So basically, if he comes in there, I will fire. So that's my turn.
Got it. All right. Well, the first hunter, the one with the spear, is going at full speed. He gets to this point and then does like a leap off the cliff and is running in this direction, like that. He has entered the snake's threatening range, has not left it, so has not provoked an attack of opportunity yet. He might not even notice the snake. The other hunter on the bottom side, no one. Yeah, nope. The other one on the bottom side is going to keep going forward as well. 30 and then another 30 coming around this side, leaving us with white of alabaster.
Probably notice him coming. Yeah, I want to hold my position with Dom here around this corner and ready an attack with both if I can.
Okay. Dom will need someone to be adjacent to him. He can't ready a charge.
Gotcha.
Yeah, same with you.
Wait, what do you mean by we'll need someone adjacent to him?
So like if this monster were to come here, then Dom could make an attack, right? But if they come to like here, Dom wouldn't be able to move and strike in one go.
Makes sense.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'm waiting for them to like go around this corner.
Yeah.
And,
You're
like,
waiting for
strike
them to close.
Yep.
Iskar. They moved right on past you. They did not come up that way. They didn't seem to even see you.
All right, let's see.
Is this a
What about
good
the
thing?
snake too? Have they don't see it?
They don't seem to see it. He's right next to the snake. He's got a spear in his hand. I mean, he did dash. He didn't have an action to stab, but he's sitting right next to it. Do you want to risk the snake? Like drawing attention to itself?
Because the thing is, so Dom here's back there potentially ready to position to charge, right? So I could possibly buy it some time. What I'm wondering is how exactly does poison work? Because I do see that if I bite, there's a chance to roll for that, right?
Yeah. So if you hit with your bite, you will do 2d4 poison damage as well as the normal damage, and then they have to make a saving throw. If they make the saving throw, they actually only take half the poison damage. If they fail, they take the full. So it would be 1 damage from the bite. Then they make a saving throw, and they either take full 2d4 or half of 2d4. So it applies automatically.
Yeah.
You can do it.
I'm going to go for it, yeah. Because I think again, Iskar has been playing very, very reserved, kind of scared, kind of freaked out. But historically, Iskar is a little reckless, a little more likely to just charge in. They see like, okay, we've got the opening. We have to go for this. We have to take this. This might be our best chance, So yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
Well, Hethys is hidden from this person. So they have advantage on their bite. So if you open their character sheet, at the very top, you'll see like some buttons. One says public, one says to GM, one says advantage, normal, and disadvantage. Click the advantage one. And that when you use the bite attack, it'll roll at advantage.
And then I can just click on that attack, right?
Yeah. 11 is the attack at advantage. Histhar will bite directly into the armor, but not penetrate it and not Hithis and not causing any damage. Unfortunately. I'm so sorry.
Oh, and then
Unlucky.
You still have your turn?
yeah, it seems like we're all kind of converging, or everything seems to be kind of converging in this general area now. So I think I need to start making my way over there.
All right.
To help out the team. So let's see. Yes, I think I'm going to move kind of in this. I want to be heading... Yeah, I think I want to get to these bushes here now and try hiding again there.
Yeah. Well, you can go 25 and hide, or you can go up to 50 without a hide.
Yeah,
So
let's go
are you
50 without the hide. I want to get some distance here.
All right. Whoosh, all the way over. Gray.
All right, we see that there is a hunter here. We are relatively certain we are hidden from him. I think it makes more sense to take my shot from a step to here to have slightly more, because like while I'm higher, there's like these bushes and stuff here. So,
Sure.
So we will step right here and take our shot. Am I still hidden from him?
Yes.
The first attack of the campaign, please.
At advantage. It's an
Oh, thank
18.
God.
It's a hit. Your
Sneak attack, please carry us. Oh, it does.
Nice.
Aw.
7 damage on the regular strikes, another 3 from the sneak attack. A total of 10 points of damage will put an arrow straight through the hunter's chest, stopping him in his tracks, making him gasp in surprise and probably a little horror. Any other
and we are
actions?
with the other hunters coming up there, so we'll use the remaining 15 feet of our movement to probably put some distance, not get shot. And move here, because if he comes to pursue us, he's just going to get attack of opportunity and killed by our allies. So I probably move over here. Whoops, I didn't mean to click that button. That's my turn.
Perfect. All right, this hunter that has just been hit has been surprised, not only by a snake in the grass, but also by the arrow to the chest, and this is not what he fucking signed up for. He is calling out in fear and surprise and immediately going back. But when he backs up, he leaves Hissar's territory, threatening reach. So Hissar is permitted an attack of opportunity. It's not Hissar, it's Hithis, but I'm going to learn it, I swear. Go ahead and roll me another bite attack, Moxi.
I'm not at advantage anymore, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so I'll just do normal.
Good catch. Normal, yeah. 10 is not good enough. Once again, the teeth sink into leather armor, and the man, the hunter, the beast escapes. Down here on the bottom side, this guy has heard the shouts. They are communicating in their guttural language, but this one needs to make a morale check since he's not wounded. And his morale is fantastic. And so he's confident in what he's got going. He's going to come on over here. He's going to go right there. No clear line of sight. So we're going to go forward a little bit more to here. Ah, there we go. And he turns. And he looks. And he's looking right past the elk. and White of
Oh,
Alabaster. Not only is it your turn, but you can see this creature is staring directly at you as he begins to raise his bow and then wait until his next turn to take an action because he dashed.
Gotcha. Yeah. I see the opportunity. There couldn't be a better one. I didn't actually look at what attacks Dom here has. Hold on.
He's got a special charge ability. If he moves at least 20 feet forward in a straight line and then hits, the target takes extra damage.
At least 20 feet. Okay.
And you know what? There's 20 feet
That
right
looks
there.
good to me. Yep. Okay. Wait, I get confused by the 5e character sheets. Hold on.
Yes.
Here it is. Okay, yeah, charge. Got it.
Because there's two. Your animals have a very different sheet than you do.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I command down here to charge forward at the man with all of his
Horns
force.
down.
And this is a 2d6.
You can just click the charge button. We got to make sure we hit
perfect.
first. Yeah. I lied. Not the charge button. The ram button under the actions. But we'll take that 11 on the 2d6 from the charge damage. If you hit with the ram.
I see.
8 is no good. Not even. The hunter sees these big elk horns coming for it and deftly ducks to one side, slips up the other, has the arrow pointed over the elk's shoulder in your direction. It is still your turn.
I don't think I would run up to expose my... well, we got to fight him at some point, right? It's better to fight him in close range than in long range. And I should probably be close to Dahmer because I have another spell slot to heal him. All right, fine.
You have
His
35 feet. You can move right there.
Yep. White of Alabaster's instincts to be a protector of his people kick in, and probably also powered up by this elk who's ready to charge, ready to battle. He's motivated and full of adrenaline. He runs forward at the archer, takes out his, I think it's an obsidian dagger is what we said.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I should save my spell slots. And then can't find my weapon. Hold on. There it is. And then he takes a stab with the dagger at the beast.
7 is a terrible attack roll. You also wildly miss. Iskar Green.
Fantastic, perfect first battle for him. If this is the first time he attacks ever with his bonded elk, they just both wildly miss. It's like, it goes to show how insufficient his theoretical schooling and training was his entire life.
Iskar, it's your turn. You've been moving back and forth, trying to get in the right position, and these creatures keep moving out of position. Wherever you go, they seem to be somehow avoiding.
Yeah, I don't think I can
missed
afford
twice.
to try to get too fancy anymore, trying to get the perfect position. I mean, it's clear here that Alabaster probably could use some backup, especially after that first attack didn't go so well. Let's see if I can start to make it over there.
Gotta show some virtue here, Moxi.
Yeah. Let's see. So if I sprint, I can get like just behind them.
Yep.
I can't do too much if I don't. I think I'm just gonna I sprint over, get as close as possible as I can.
Okay. That's about here. There you go. Perfect. Gray of Morning Mist. The only
Snake
person.
movements?
Oh yeah, snake.
You wanna-
True. Snake. Chill.
If I theoretically were to bring Snake up here, would I be able to say like take a bit of a shortcut to try to get behind them, like over here?
So your
Would I be able to go down that ledge?
could slither like this up here,
Yeah.
and then on its next turn, it could slither down there.
Yeah, let's try that. So yeah, let's slither over here.
All right. So
this turn.
one of these two squares. Pick your favorite.
Let's go.
One of
Let's
these
go right
three.
here.
Yeah. Right. Shoop. Our wounded hunter is backing.
It's me, yes?
No, I'm sorry. We keep skipping you. I'm so sorry. Don't let me do it again.
You're fine.
Go for it, Gray.
All right, we'll probably have... Actually, wait, are you 50 or 60? I need to... Oops. I think it's 50. It is 60. Okay. Very nice. Mithra's gonna perch up here and keep watching. It's obviously on this side, because it's aware that this thing has a... Well, it has its spear out now, and it's like running away, and it's just a random ass hawk. It hasn't done anything here.
Just one of the many animals in the woods.
Yep. We will probably move to there, because we definitely have a clear shot from there on this guy. Yeah, for sure. Our friend is small, this thing is large. Also, I can aim on that side. All right. Bow still out. We are going to attempt to attack our large songless. Not an advantage anymore.
No advantage. Regular shot.
16?
16 will do it.
And you are...
Adjacent ally gives you sneak attack.
Absolutely. Bam. Not
5 total points of damage. Not a ton this time. Okay.
But we are plucking away at them, and I'm going to make a slight step back. Probably here. No, I'll move there. I still have 5 feet. All right, that's my turn.
Our other hunter is still backing up, still retreating, getting to some safe space. Our forwardmost hunter, who is now in the melee of everything, they have their bow. The elk is trying to horn them. This little bastard with a obsidian blade tried to stab and wildly missed. Bow shots are coming from this guy over here. The hunter drops his bow. He reaches out with both of his arms, and he attempts to grab White of Alabaster.
Oh, shit. He's mad.
I think grappling rules is it makes an athletics and you make an acrobatics or athletics. I'm like 98% certain that's the rules. I'm just going to double check it here. Using at least one free hand, you try to seize your target by making a grappling check. Athletics contested by the target's athletics or acrobatics. If you succeed, you subject it to the grappled condition. Excellent. So, you go ahead and make an athletics or acrobatics check, Peachal.
Whew. All right. Let me check which one's better. Acrobatics is dex. Athletics is strength.
You just have to roll better than a 2.
Yeah, I'll try. It's still worth looking into. Hold on, because I'm not familiar with my character sheet yet.
Yeah.
Wait, where's my... I'm 10 dex. Okay, I want to do a strength check. So a... not like it matters. Or will it? Is your athletics check.
There you go. Easy peasy. The guy goes to grab at you, and you're just small. You're fast. It's a completely whiff of a grapple.
Beautiful.
That's not how this was supposed to go. He was supposed to grab you. And there's a lot of you coming. Now, the question is he more brave than intelligent? He rolls the best morale check you could ever possibly roll. This guy, this songless, this is what he wants, and he's not going to let anything get away from him. He will hold his ground, leaving White of Alabaster with a turn.
Okay. We've got him surrounded. Honestly, this is perfect. It's just going to be a regular round of attacks. So I guess since he's not 20 feet or more away, Daimir will have to attack with his hoof attack.
You can still ram even if you're close.
Oh, okay.
You just get the charge benefit.
I see.
Yeah, but the hooves are better. If you're
Yeah. Why would I ever?
Oh no, but the hooves can only attack a prone creature. That's why. Got it.
I see. Okay. He can't like stand up on his hind legs and fucking punch him.
Not according to the 5th edition books. I'm so sorry.
All right. Well, we'll ram him. It's okay. I'm your ram.
Piece of shit elk.
What
I'm so sorry.
This thing's like the best fighter out of all of us too. It's just rolling poorly.
Yeah. All right. No, it's okay. Sometimes you miss those ranges, man. That's fine. All right. Dagger.
There you go.
There
the
we
obsidian
go.
slides in. Razor sharp down both sides, ripping through armor, cutting flesh, making that creature regret being so brave. Iskar Green, you're here. You can get adjacent to the monster if you so desire this round.
Oh, I'm absolutely doing that. Yeah, we're going in.
You get right up to him. A second Toman appears before him. And you do what?
All right, let's see. What are my options?
Well, your options
As far
are
as combat
dagger.
goes? Yep.
You could try to grapple him. He's a lot larger than you are, but you could do it.
I think I'm just going to go for the dagger.
Go for the dagger.
Wait, aren't you a monk?
Oh, wait, I am
Oh.
a monk. Yeah,
You are a monk. You do have the monk combat abilities.
that's right. Let's
That
see.
allows you to make unarmed attacks, and then you can spend your key points to make multiple.
Where can I see
we don't have-
these? Would these be under attributes and abilities? Or
How did we miss these core components of your classes when we built our characters? This is so unusual.
Yeah, so the nice thing about like monks, especially on early levels, right, is if you make like a monk attack or an unarmed strike, I'm pretty sure as a bonus action, they could just do it from level 1, right? It's not even key points, I think.
That's right. You can use dex instead of strength. When you use the attack action with an unarmed strike or a monk weapon, you can make one additional unarmed strike as a bonus action. So you can attack twice. Your dagger counts as a monk weapon, so you can strike with your dagger, and then you can strike with your fist if you so desire.
yeah, I think I'll do exactly that then. All right, so dagger. So it'd be dagger and then martial arts.
Yeah, it would be... Well, let's just start with the dagger, because you might just kill him right away.
All right.
Maybe. Probably not. Not with your
You never
luck.
know.
Yeah, it's a natural one. You're definitely not killing him today. So you have a move, an action, a movement, and a bonus action. So with your bonus action, you can make an unarmed strike, which is that unarmed strike on your character sheet there, that D4 plus 2 bludgeoning damage as a bonus action. So go ahead and roll it.
Let me tell you about unarmed strikes, man. The legend of Archie B. Alder. Oh my god.
All right.
Oh my god,
Big
indeed.
crit here.
Come on, Moxie. There you go. That's a solid hit.
Okay.
If you click on the text of that roll, it'll roll you your damage. 5 bludgeoning damage is a solid
Nice.
blow to this guy's kidneys. He hits the ground, passes out, and lies there, bleeding from the arrow and dagger wounds across his body.
And then Snake
s-
also still
Yeah.
has its move, yeah.
Yeah, what's he gonna do?
See.
Oh, that motherfucker is still alive, huh?
Yep. Yeah, I think I want to move the snake in to truly get them surrounded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
the
it's, like,
snake
right
can
behind
come
them
on
there,
over,
yeah.
slither down the cliffside, come right up to this person, maybe even wrap around one of their arms or legs since they're, unconscious on the ground, leaving us with Grave Morning Mist.
I don't think I can justify a shot on this guy, right? I don't think so.
Let me zoom out. No, it would be, I would give you like -5 to hit if you want to take a shot.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to. I'm trying to think from where he is. I think like here-ish, here. Like if I was in, I think like these are like probably the ranges I can probably get to him at. Yeah, I have a general idea of where he's at. Mither is. Gray sees him go down. He's gonna trust his allies. I'm gonna start preparing to get into position to deal with that other guy, which I think means going like this. I'm gonna dash here. There's no way he can see me from there. So.
Yeah. Well, it's the
And-
other monster's turn, unless you want to move Mithra.
Mithra is content with their thing. They're just doing constant perception checks for like, we still know that tiger's behind us, right? Like often.
Keeping an eye out for the the monster continues its bolt, finding a way to hop down a cliff face, get some cover, and at this point I think you're losing sight of them as they flee through the heavy woods, and we can step out of combat unless someone wants to chase after it.
If I was more confident, if it was at 1 HP, Mithra could chase it because it has 60 feet, but it literally only does 1 damage on a hit. So
yeah, and has 1 HP. So, all right, we're gonna temporarily step out of combat for a moment here. It's still a dangerous situation. There could be monsters anywhere. There could be more songless out there. But for a moment, you guys are surrounding this unconscious one on the ground, who's slowly bleeding to death. What do we want to do about him?
White of Alabaster is full of adrenaline. This was his first fight ever, and he feels like he did very poorly, but he did land 1 good blow at least. He's mostly just scared and also concerned about the elk. I don't think he really cares about this creature bleeding to death as long as he seems like he's not threatening anymore. He would probably try to like kick his bow away or something.
Yeah. The bow's huge. The bow's way taller than you are. You could never wield such a thing. And the arrows are so long, you could never use them with your own weapons.
Yes. Just making sure that, if for some reason this guy gets up, he can't get it. Because well, actually, he's like a cleric. He used to healing people. He can probably identify that this guy is fucking dead.
He will be soon.
Yeah. The elk. We have to get to Elky. We have to make sure he's okay.
In this time, Gray, seeing that they've collapsed, the other guy has, I don't know, he's going to start moving towards Elky. I remember when you first described it, you said there was a trap nearby. So
yeah,
Gray is still cautious and sort of slinking along the cliff face here, but also like checking for the traps and whatnot around the elk.
Yeah, well, there's one of the large trees that's like whose stump sits in one of these little bushes and isn't properly represented on the map, has dangling from a higher branch a large wooden cage that is a little bit larger than the elk is. It's got little pointed spikes down along the edges, so when it falls, it'll dig into the earth, and it's connected by a rope to a spot over here.
Oh, so it looks manual.
Yeah.
In that
Now
case,
you're
I think
this close, you can see these details well.
in that case, I think he's going to be brave enough to, he sort of calls out, gives the others a call of like, come here, the little bird call. He's going to step forward and, yeah, I think he's brave and reckless enough. Well, brave, quote unquote. He's very cautious, but he wants to get out of here quickly. So he's going to move here where other Toman's bonded beasts are more aware. They should recognize a Toman at least, right?
Yeah, they're comfortable with your people, very comfortable.
Right. We're going to pull out a dagger / short sword and start attempting to undo the elk's bindings.
Your obsidian blades on your short sword, which is like a wooden paddle with obsidian blades all along the edge of it, little mini ones. I'm going to make the token large so people can see what we're talking about. Like that. Will easily slice through the jute bondings, freeing the elk's legs. And as soon as those legs are freed, the elk will sort of dash off in this direction.
Do we feel like that this is the direction that our village is?
Yes, you came from the east.
Oh, God. So animal empathy, once we bond with our animal, we lose it with the others. I'm going to attempt to calm down the elk because I know that there's a tiger in that direction.
Mm.
Ooh, good
Yeah,
idea.
go ahead and give me an animal handling check.
Oh, God. Oh, thank you.
That's really good.
Huge.
Yeah, it'll, you give it the reassuring words and it bounds away from the danger spot and then like stops here and looks back at you. On the other side over here, Moxi and Pichal. What's your plan?
Yeah, we probably group up. Is everyone okay? Does anyone need to... Are you guys hurt?
Gray shakes his head and says, "We have completed our mission. We should return quickly. One of them escaped, I believe."
Iskar,
I agree.
kind of shaking a little bit, but kind of spouts out a crazy idea. This invader who's slowly bleeding out, shouldn't we maybe take them prisoner, try to find out where they came from, get any kind of information we can? We can't directly communicate, but maybe we can force them to kind of point out to us physically where they came from.
You don't understand, the songless, they're not like us. You can't think of them like a Toman. We shouldn't. I don't even know if we can touch them. I think we should leave as fast as we can and get back to safety. Who knows how many more there are out there? He's gonna slow us down so much. I don't even know. Oh God.
As they're considering, Gray will turn and he'll put a hand on Alabaster's shoulder and he'll say, "We have completed a mission. Do not hesitate. Do not question, make a decision, and live with it. We have completed the mission and we return safely now. I do not think we should take them with us, but that is your decision." And he's going to go over to where the hunter is and loot their pockets.
Start rummaging through the hunter's belongings. What do these creatures have upon them?
Yeah, Iskar, looking a little defeated, says, "Look, I think you two are right. I've already gotten in over my head today. I don't think we can risk it. We shouldn't take them. You're right."
This foolish man who got us out here got us this mess. We could have died. Damir got close. He was so wounded. God. By Illumis, we must return as fast as we can.
As you rummage through this person's possessions, you find a hunting knife. It's quite large for you. It's about yay big in front of your face. Its handle is made out of some sort of animal bone. It could be like elk antler or deer. It's some sort of antler type thing. Too hard to identify in the moment. With a like a rough iron, like sort of darkened iron, almost like it's not like a nice shiny silvery steel. It's like a dark color, like a wrought iron fence colored iron blade that comes out of it.
We're going to take a look at it. And as Gray is up close with this hunter, there's a sort of like a shadow that falls over his features, and he so sees their unconscious form. They're still sort of bleeding out. And he thinks back to something the last time he saw such a hunter up close. And yeah, this the same knife that he takes with sort of takes from this guy's side, finds a spot right along their flank, along their rib. The spot where he remembers his first calf was shot with an arrow and taken down, and he just slips the dagger right there.
All right, the creature
into their body.
Quickly die, and our party can escape back through the woods, back in the direction of the river from whence you came. Okay. As soon as the party is, half mile or a mile away, I think everyone begins to feel a sense of relief. No one seems to be chasing you. You've made it this far.
We're probably pretty, or at least White of Alabaster is very fucking paranoid that they're being followed. This was a all around pretty terrifying experience.
Okay. Why don't we take a short break right now? And while we're taking our break, let's sort out your spells.
Yes, please.
Okay, party. I'm just going to assume, you tell me if I'm wrong here, that with the elk rescued, you're heading back to the river to meet up with the other Tomen who are inevitably coming to help you. Is that... Do you want to do something other than that?
Nope. I think that sounds good, right?
There is one thing I want to note. So because we are heading back now, right?
Yeah.
It's going to take us a while to get back. And there's something a
Yeah.
little understated that I just sort of want to highlight it as a character thing. There's probably a time where we're like stopping to get water or something, and Gray sort of scouts ahead. Sometimes goes like off and off, and there's like a moment where he's alone, where he's at the stream and he's sort of like drinking water and washing his hands. And he starts to like wash his hands more. They just feel like a little bit unclean, and there's the adrenaline of the fight, but there's also the realization that he actually did just kill another being. And I'm not. I imagine that we are more. The differentiation between like what we consider sentient beings and not is probably a little bit different than other ways, considering our body. But still, like this is, even though he presents this sort of like very neutral, very like composed exterior, and he probably thought he was as well, right? Probably thinks like, oh, I can handle this. It's like sort of realizing him that he just like killed another person, and it's just something just feels unclean. He hates the songless, of course. They are a source of great stress in his life, but there's something about there's a difference in spending your life sort of like hating something and wanting revenge on it, and the actual like act of taking a life. And just, it's not sitting very well with him. He keeps just sort of trying to wash his hands more, drink water, and he's looking around and just feels ill at ease. Almost like he wants to burst into tears or vomit. Something just feels unclean.
Your people, lots of them are farmers. Some of them are like agricultural crop farmers, and some of them are more animal farmers. You know, people keep ducks, and when you keep ducks, sometimes you butcher them for food. You chop their heads off and you pluck all their feathers, you rip their skin off and pull their guts out. Is this something that you have experience with, Gray?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Especially as a hunter, but
but this is different.
It is different. There's this sort of natural order of, because there's this reconciliation you have to make between hunting and like the natural order, like survival, you know, hunting for survival, but and an active act, because what they did wasn't, you could argue with survival, but it was an act of violence, right? And there's a weight on the soul there. And I think he's realizing for a moment, I was thinking about it during our break. I'm like, I think he realizes for a moment, like, because it's a thought in your head as you grow up hating a certain sort of people, like they slaughtered his family, right? But the first time you commit that act, it's not a small thing. And he's going to have to think on that for a while and deal with it.
Well, how about, let's actually just do a little through everyone. Iskar Green, this is your first time fighting the Songless. You've picked a snake as your friend, as your beast. These creatures that are these invaders, these interlopers, these monsters that are coming for your land and have captured your people and hurt them. You've now faced them, and you saw them almost kill an elk in a single round. They put out a prodigious amount of damage, and they were large. How is all of this sitting in Iskar's system?
I think now that the adrenaline is kind of starting to taper off a little bit, things are kind of starting to normalize. Iskar was very freaked out, but they did come out victorious, and this was kind of the first, not only taste of combat, but first kind of big taste of being outside the barrier. Iskar is almost having this weird kind of internal conflict because there was a bit of excitement. It's like there is that weird feeling like, yes, we just took down this outsider, they're dead. But I think Iskar almost wants a little more of what they just went through, that rush. There's a little bit of excitement there. And just a bit of a weird feeling. Yeah.
You two are having very different reactions to these events.
Right.
Now, I don't expect anyone to have an answer for me, but I'm noticing that Iskar, you did get like the finishing blow, but you just knocked him unconscious. Whereas Gray actually put a dagger in an unconscious person and made sure they died. And I'm wondering, just curious, if this reaction has to do with your personality types or has to do with the actual, like, what it was that you did. I wonder if Iskar had cut someone up while they were unconscious, if you would feel differently. And I wonder if Gray would similarly feel differently if they were the ones to knock someone into unconsciousness.
From Gray's perspective, a sort of getting into his head, the reason that sort of popped into my mind was that uh, it's almost this naivety of him thinking that he's a lot colder than he is. You know, he spent his life sort of a little bit away from home and society, almost obsessed with the Songless, watching them, stalking them, and there was this opportunity here. He's like, I'm going to take this time, and this revenge is going to feel good, right? It's like I've been waiting for so long, and like he had the image of his first bonded beast like in his mind, and he's like, this is going to give me some peace of mind. This is going to give me some sort of anxiety, and he does it, and it just doesn't now. That's part of why he's feeling this confliction right now. Is he thought that first time would be like he would feel a sense of serenity, of calm, sort of like finally I've gotten some manner of revenge, but he doesn't feel that way at all right
Well, last but not least, White of Alabaster. You have also been in your very first combat, and the combat was so intense you forgot almost all of your spells. They just slipped from your mind. Such a rush was that. How are you feeling now that you're a little bit further away from it?
Yeah. It was like I feel like when he was growing up, he was prepared for this, right? By his father and his peers and all that, you know, this would be difficult. Nothing can match your first combat. There's nothing that can prepare you for it, right? It will, and that's when, you know, you'll see if you are a true follower of Illumis. That's when your faith will really come out. And I mean, he whiffed a lot during that fight, and he probably feels bad about that. But at the same time, he was successful, right? He led more or less the party, and felt like he fulfilled his duty in this, and that feels good. At the same time, I think the reaction and the validation that he will get or not get for this from, you know, the people he looks up to, the people he's doing this for, especially his parents, is going to be like the deciding factor on how he in the end evaluates this, because right now I think he's still very insecure about whether or not he did a good job here. He doesn't even really know if it was the correct decision to go out and go after Elkie, or the thing he probably feels most bad about is not even his combat skills or whatever, but that he went out of the borders in the first place. He doesn't know if this was the right call still.
Okay. Well, our party can make it back to the river, and all you got to do is follow the river back home. And you should be running into someone any minute now as you make your way home. It'll be a little while to get back home because we can only go so many miles in a day, you know? And so I want to talk about some house rules right now. 5th edition's a great system, but I like it's a very heroic system, and I want to tone it down a little bit, add a little bit more simulationist into it. So instead of every night you get a long rest and you regain all of your HP and all of your spell slots and everything goes back to full, we have some different resting rules. I'm going to share these with you. We're going to break our rest into 5 different categories. A long rest, which is essentially a week of dedicated downtime. A good night's sleep, or a short rest. It's all the normal short rest rules, but instead of it being an hour of chilling at camp, it's a good night, a proper sleep. A rough rest is where you're getting enough sleep for the night, but you're not really, like, it's not great. In this situation, there's no penalties, no benefits. It's a wash. And then if you stay up all night and you don't get any rest, you've got to make a wisdom saving throw, or else you like fall asleep at it. If you're just kind of sitting at your computer all night long, you might just pass out. And if you don't get any rest, you suffer a level of exhaustion. And the last category is a negative rest, or an all-nighter. If you're going to march through the night, or you're going to work on something difficult all through the night, This is a condition in which you not only don't sleep, but continue to be active, and you get 2 levels of exhaustion for pulling an all-nighter or like a negative rest. So we're getting like 2 categories of rest, a category of nothing, and then 2 categories of penalties. So any of your abilities that recharge on a short rest, you get back after a night of sleep. Anything that recharges on a long rest, you get back after, a full week of dedicated downtime. Yeah? Any questions?
It's interesting to see this evolution. It reminds me of what was the campaign you did with Devin, Steven, Trump, and Ziz? Yeah. Like evolution and iteration on that. Sort of.
Yes, it is an improvement upon the system from Empires of Arcadia.
That's what it's called, right? Great
Yeah,
job.
that was the campaign in which we let the party all move on the same turn and like let themselves go in any order they want, and it was wildly overpowered.
Especially with flanking, I remember
yes.
that was.
Yes, it was too much. Here are also some combat rules. They're pretty much all the same. There's just a couple of slight modifications to dex-based and shield-based AC. So, for example, 5th edition rules is written, if you are unconscious and on the ground, you still get your dexterity modifier to your AC. I think that's a little dumb. So your dexterity AC benefits only kick in when they make sense. So if you're restrained or incapacitated or immobile in some way, your dex AC doesn't come in. And your shield AC doesn't apply when you're grappled, restrained, or incapacitated. So, only if it makes sense that you could have that. And similarly, you don't get dex or shield during surprise rounds. Yeah. But other than that, it's all pretty much the same. Swimming rules are slightly different, but we won't worry about them too terribly much. Yeah.
Oh, also to clarify for Moxi, they did not play a campaign with Donald Trump. There's just a Hearthstone streamer by the name of Trump.
I know who they are. Yeah.
Okay. Just make sure.
Well, that was before he ran for president. It was fine back then.
Yeah. His branding got a little fucked, man.
I do want to state for KTZ though, dashing. Dashing is only you may only dash once per round, regardless of source. So whether it's an action or a bonus action, so you can't rogue double dash to become just a fastest person. Cool. These are just important house rules that I really like. And if you ever have any questions about what you can do in your turn, there's a handout called Actions, Standard, and these are all just the base rules, so you have an idea of what you could do. You can attack or shove a person. You can cast a spell, dash, disengage, dodge, help, hide, ready, skill check, or use an object. Cool. Those are all in your handout section in the journal tab if you ever need to review them. And we're going to skip a little time as our party makes their way back home, unless the party would like to do something other than head back home.
There's nothing that White wants to do more than go home.
All right. 2 days later, Wednesday the 10th, we come back in towards the swamp, following the river. And as you do so, you see your friend, Elky's bonded partner, leading a group of 5 Tomen with their hounds, with their dogs. These are dog-bonded Tomens, Mastiffs or Rottweilers. It's not actually any particular breed of dog that we have in the real world, but they're sort of biggish dogs in the 60 to 80 pound category. Big old pups. The 6 Tomen and 5 dogs are coming down the river as you're getting real close to the swamp. You can hear the sounds of the swamp in the distance. And there, Elky's master and Elky are reunited with tears and joy, looking to you. Where's his character name?
We've made it. Oh God, thank God. Loomis. Loomis be praised.
Bear Blue looks at you and says, I thank you so much. I was so afraid. And he looks to Gray and says, I didn't want to be like you. I'm sorry. That seems like such a lonely life. And looks over back towards Alabaster. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know what I would have done without Elkie.
We're there for each other. It's what we do.
Wow. Well,
Gray is not saying anything. That was
the other Tomen with their dogs give a bit of a shrug, like, "Oh, good, we weren't needed after all." These Tomen are reliable, loyal, faithful, dependable. Those are the sorts of people you get when you bond with dogs, and you can always rely on the dog bonded Tomen to pull their weight in a time of need, and then some. They do sometimes lay in the sun and not do any work, and they are a little ADD at times, but they're reliable. Gosh darn it. And our party can return to the swamp. What would you all like to do coming back here? Is this a go celebrate with the family moment? Is this a go back to my corner of the woods and think about what has happened? Is this a rally people for some sort of counterattack? What? Now that we're here, do we still need to trim the claws, or is it fine? Was this enough?
I think Alabaster will report what happened to his father immediately, and we'll want to have a conversation with him about it.
Okay. Let me just get a quick vibe on everyone, and then we'll do that. Iskar, what are you feeling?
Iskar wants, like a report of sorts to go out. Wants everyone back home to know what happened, what they saw, and to kind of tell them, look, we ran into trouble, but we won. We succeeded. It was okay. We were able to do this, and if we had more of you with us next time, maybe we could push even further and see what else is out there. And one of them got away. There were two of them, and the one that got away, I think Iskar is worried a little bit. We have our barrier, but there's so much we don't know. What if they have a way to see through it or get through it? So I think just Iskar is very wanting to take action, wanting to get back out there as soon as possible with maybe some reinforcements.
And what about you, Gray? How are you returning home?
He's shadowing the other two. He's curious what they're gonna do. The vision I have of it is like returning to Crocodilopolis, this story like sort of spreading, and at some point he sort of slinks away, not like away, but sort of just gets away from the crowd, because we have Iskar who is telling the story, right? And I imagine Iskar is pretty emphatic about it, telling people and whatnot. And Alabaster wants to report to his father. So Gray is going to sort of just kind of shadow the two, curious to see what's going to happen. He's going to watch Iskar for a time, and then he's probably going to follow Alabaster too.
Yeah.
Because there is things he wants to report to.
Okay. Let's start with Iskar then. You've got an agenda when you return home. You said you wanted to rally people. And you're a snake bonded Tomen. You're a clever, cunning sort of fella. You know that most Tomen are bonded to like oxen and dogs and crocodiles. These creatures that are, strong and powerful in their own right, but aren't really the go out there and get a bunch of stuff done. Maybe the dog bonded Tomen are, but their attention span's a little short. How would you go about trying, like, what's your story? Because you're going to need a story to convince other people to get involved.
I think first thinking of the types of animals the other Tomen are bonded to, and while there are some large creatures that they're bonded to, like dogs, oxes, whatnot, they're not really necessarily built for combat against such a big threat because these creatures were so huge. So I think more kind of the more stealthy, kind of sneaky animals may be useful, because as we saw, you know, we had to do a lot of hiding, a lot of kind of maneuvering around. We can't really do like a direct attack.
Yeah, well, there are some Tomen that are bonded to rats. Not a lot, but there are a few that have picked the rat as their pets. That's a pretty sneaky creature.
Yeah,
Or
I think
cats?
also, you know, ones that are able to kind of use the environment, because I think we really have to use that as an advantage. Like, we had success kind of using those barriers in order to kind of corral them the way we wanted to and able to surround the one that we did. And for getting the other Tomen on our side, you know, making this convincing, again, I think just going back to the one that got away. We don't know what they're going to go back to their people and tell them if they're going to try to come out and find us. And I think that some of the Tomen may be too comfortable with the barrier. And, you know, Iskar is all about kind of challenging the norms, going against the grain, you know, not just following what we've always followed. And Iskar has this bad feeling that maybe that the barrier's gonna fail us this time. You know, it's not gonna be enough to keep us safe in there, and that's why we have to be ready, and we have to scout and get more of an understanding of what's out there around us and surrounding us.
I would like you to make me a persuasion check, Iskar,
Right.
off of your character sheet. Because you're going to go into town. You've got this story. You kind of know who to look for. But you have 4 charisma. It's not great. So on your character sheet, in the second column from the left, persuasion. Oh my god, you roll a natural 20. It's a modified 17. It's the best you could do. You're talking to these other Tomen. You're telling them that this is a danger. One got away. They could be doing anything. And some folks are standing around and listening. You know, you can see the glazed over look of some ox-bonded Tomen, just kind of like nodding along with you, probably agreeing with everything that you're thinking, but just real slow to act. When one of the older Tomen in the area, an old man, comes on up to you. He's got a walking stick that's like a coiled, looping, carefully carved stick that he's been working on for ages. And he's also a snake-bonded Tomen, and that looping walking stick is a nice perfect curve for his snake to like wrap up. So as he walks, like the snake is attached to his stick and then can move up onto his arm as needed. And he'll approach you from the crowd, from, you know, the back of the crowd, and say, "Young man, do not waste your words on these people. I've been trying my whole life to encourage them to action. Look, they've done nothing." He'll walk, you know, past the others who make way for the old person, and you've always been on the outside of society a little bit. You may or may not know this person. I'd like you to make me just a straight charisma check. Just click on your charisma text just to see if you recognize this feller. Yeah, with a 10, you think you know all the snake-bonded Tomen, especially the older ones who've been around forever, but this guy, you don't recognize him. There's not a lot of you. You know, your population's in the low thousands, but you are kind of spread out, and everyone is fairly self-sufficient. This must be one of those people who kind of, like you, lives on the borders of society, maybe up in the mountains. There's always a few Tomen who prefer to hang out in the mountains with just their creatures and eschew the normal rules and regulations and methods. As he's walking up, you can see his snake looks at you and sort of does like a sss at your snake. And as he does so, snakes don't usually have their fangs like fully deployed, but you're so familiar with the anatomy that you can see this cotton mouth is missing both of his fangs. They're just completely gone. And the old man will say to you one more time, the only thing that has ever driven these peaceful, mewing oxen to action has been the devastation or capture of dozens of us. If you really want to drive them forth, you should surrender yourself to the songless. And then he gives you this sort of like wicked, maybe mischievous grin, maybe an unsettling, crazy old mountain man look. Do either you or Gray have any response to this man?
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
What are you not doing, Gray?
We'll save that for now. Okay. He's gonna take note of this old man, his features, his snake, and we'll file that away. But I will say that he's gonna be looking into this person. He probably doesn't he's probably not too familiar socially with people. I don't think I can justify a check, but he's gonna study them, and he wants to learn more about them. Let's put it that way. He's curious. There are friends, no doubt he has, and he can also follow them, etc. For the immediately, he's doing nothing, but this is he's in a stage where I mentioned earlier, he's sort of like a little bit fragile and purposeless at the moment, and something has distracted his mind. So,
okay. What about you, Iskar?
Iskar is a little skeptical at the method that's suggested here to get captured. Because I think Iskar kind of wants to take more of a, I guess, driver's seat approach. But he's intrigued. He's very intrigued. He's intrigued. This old man seems familiar. He thinks he might know who he is. So he also does want to get more information about him, figure out more who he is, and he's curious about his bonded beast as well, the fangless cottonmouth. He's curious how it became this way. What's the story? It's clearly been through quite a bit because of this old man's age. So he maybe wants to talk to him a little more. Maybe in private, just to get an idea. What are you thinking here? Where's this idea coming from? Is this something you've experienced in the past? Something similar? Where are you getting this?
Are these direct questions you're asking him now, or are these just thoughts running through your head?
These are just thoughts in his head, yeah.
Yeah, Gray's following him right now. That's what he was going to go hang out with Alabaster, but now he's just going to shadow this old man.
Yeah, the old man kind of comes in, says these crazy things about get yourself captured because no one else really gives a shit and they're all just lazy oxen. And that kind of makes people a little uncomfortable. And then there's this long silence while everyone's looking at each other. And the ox-bonded towmen just kind of turn back to whatever they were doing, head back to their homes for the day or back out to the fields. Some of the dog-bonded towmen begin to talk amongst themselves about how that's ridiculous. And, we're such good boys and we would never do that. But, you just don't go chasing after sticks that far away. That's so far. And we have all of our stuff right here. And this is our territory. We're supposed to hold on to our territory. You don't go around. They, chatter and yap amongst themselves. They've got that strong, this is us. We are here. This is our zone of comfort and our zone of control. That very localized territorial. They could smell other people's territory and respect it a little bit. And as you fall quiet, anyone else that might have been standing around, owls or hawks, maybe a couple of deer, they get the impression that you've lost your nerve, or that you've been shaken by this man enough that it's time for them to move on. The old man, as the rest of the group begins to sort of disperse, gives you another up and down and shakes his head, mutters to himself, "Youth is wasted on the young," and takes his snake and begins to hobble off, followed by Gray. I guess we'll go over to White of Alabaster now, while Gray follows the old man. Alabaster, you come home to tell your father, the man whose respect you, I think, are desperate to achieve. You
Yeah,
tell
I mean,
him
that's
about
how I
these
was
things.
raised, right?
Mhm.
That's the only thing valuable. Yeah, I get home and I don't have to roleplay telling out the whole story, but I basically tell him what happened, just in a very like matter of factual way. It's like, and in almost like a clinical way, trying not to show like how much this is like affecting me emotionally. Of a like, I just want to report back to you, Father, that you've probably already heard about the case of Elke, and I had to make a decision, and I decided to lead the group, and so on, and tell him in briefly but with important details what happened.
Why don't you give me a... Ooh. I think this is a performance. I think you're trying to create a certain appearance and a certain effect for him. So give me a performance check. Another natural 20 when communicating with your people. Almost starily, you explain the situation. He listens. He nods his head. When you're done, he reaches out, a single hand rested on your shoulder, and says, "You've done good work, my son. Good job."
Thank you.
Did you remember to pray in
Of
the
course.
mornings and evenings?
Of course, even when we were on the trail,
Good.
prayed. I made sure to focus hard on it.
Good.
Father, what do you suppose we do next about the song list? It seems like, of course, Blue was a fool to stumble out of the border like that and put himself in danger, but it seems like they're closing in more, and we don't know what they were going to do with Elke. We don't know. It seems like I've been torn, I guess, even in my moments of prayer, where I don't know if...
How could you
It's
not be
best
clear?
to-
He cuts you off. You explained it. It was obvious. An elk with a trap. And when the songless came to you, they did not strike to stab you, but they reached to grab you. You know exactly what they're here
That's right.
for. They want one of us. They want a prisoner.
Right. It's horrible. Can't imagine what they would do to a prisoner. It feels like we need to be more stringent. We need to be more clear about staying inside the border, staying safe in our land, and
Yes.
especially when things get so dangerous.
Yes. We should always stay within the boundaries, within the barrier. It's here to keep us safe. It's protected us for 1,000 generations. Obviously, if we make no trouble will come to us.
I agree.
Good.
I believe that Blue should be admonished for his carelessness and putting us all into danger.
Then do it.
Of course. Thank you, Father.
You may go now.
White leaves.
All right. So, Gray. There was this weird interaction with this old man and this toothless snake. You don't quite recognize. You're following him. How are you following him? What's your approach?
He's hobbling. He's moving relatively slow.
Yeah.
So I don't have to
Yeah.
be too close. I can be relatively. He's moving. If I ever sort of like am in danger of losing track, it'd be probably pretty simple to find him. But I'm not being too close. Mithra, also, they're like. I imagine if I put an intense enough emotion that and sort of like focus on them, I can have like Mithra circling up ahead and like give me a general direction if they spot them. I know it's like super, maybe not. I don't know. But, we're gonna try and tail them very carefully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in a situation like this, where there's a group of people directly before you, you could look at Mithra and, point at a very specific person, and I think Mithra could circle above them.
Mm.
And a circle is a pretty big area. It won't give you like an exact they're here, but it'll give you a good enough area that you could, if you lose them, you'll at least know what direction, and you should be able to come after them.
Yeah, that's the idea here.
Give a
that
command
like
to like swoop. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the idea here is that like using the hawk wouldn't be as precise, but because it's an old hobbling old man, I can compensate for that.
Yeah, this guy's not going to outrun you anywhere. The old man is headed to one of the shrines at the edge of the woods, where the woods meets the plain in this nice big, open basin area here, right? It's one of these shrines right along the woods. And it's a shrine to two deities, Varasi, who is, the one who takes you to the other side. She is the end of times, not the end of time, but like the end of your life. She's the goddess of like closings and finishings and, twilight, that sort of thing. And Falumbra, who is the moon. Like physically, she is the moon. She is the repository for all souls. When you die, your soul sort of gets recycled up there, and that's where you spend your afterlife. And then as new people, new creatures are being created, bits of them are drawn from her. So everyone sort of has an aspect that stays there and an aspect that gets reborn in other folks. And this shrine is to both of these deities. This is a shrine for people who are nearing the end of their time and are looking for peace and solace.
As a clarification, Varasi was very much about destroy to create, that sort of cycle. I'm trying to...
Yeah, each society will have like their own interpretations of these deities. She is definitely in the realm of death and destruction. I think the Toman might have a softer view of it, maybe like a more Eastern view of, death is not pure destruction. It's more endings than destruction.
The lotus, the cycle, and...
Yeah, like a tornado would be an aspect of Rossi because it destroys everything. But, so would the end of a play. That would be also Varasi. And you don't destroy anything at the end of the play, but it's dying. It's reached its culmination. The old man hobbles back to this little shrine. It's a collection of little stones that have been stacked and etched with other stones to make like a little symbolic roofing thing with little etchings alongside of it. And behind this is a natural cave where a little creek flows from, and it's past this little shrine itself and into the cave that the old man hobbles, and you can follow him from a great distance, and he seems pretty content and focused on what he's doing. He will drop off his toothless cottonmouth companion at the actual totem, at the actual shrine itself before he goes into the cave.
Do we use caves as dwellings very often? Is that, or are we more, or does it depend on animal?
Some people do. The caves tend to be in the mountains, which is kind of far. No one wants to commute to their fields, so people tend to have like mud brick homes near where it is that they do their daily life. But there are the weird mountain dwelling tomen who live in caves, and people will use caves as shelters. Yeah.
How far is the distance between the shrine and the cave? Because the snake is at the shrine, right?
Yeah, the snake's at the shrine. 100, 150 feet.
All right, so I think I can circumvent the shrine and head towards the...
Oh, yeah. Easy. Yeah. Well, you make it to the edge of the cave. What's your modifier on your stealth check?
6.
Oh, that's right. You're an expertise in it. Yeah, great. Well?
Snakes don't have... So we have our infrared vision, so I could, like, glance into the entrance of the cave. Is it lit within?
Yeah, you're going to need to wait for a moment for your eyes to adjust, sort of like when you step from a bright space into a dark space and your eyes have to, like, adjust for a moment. But as you lurk on the edge of the cave and look in and kind of shield the sun from your eyes, your infravision kicks in, and you can see that there is indeed the shape of a living tomen in there who is busying himself with, like, preparing a bed. He's got, some skins and some straw that he's, like, repiling up because, no mattresses, just straw. And it gets messed up every day. And he's sort of, like, tending to the bed and refixing it and stretching out some skins and sort of tidying up around the cave. And then he heads over to some little, a branch that's been wedged in some cracks in the cave where he's got some mugs and other things set. And you can see he's just, tending to his little home.
I think normally Gray would be more... He would simply see that this man is here. He'll know where he is, and probably step away. So, also, sorry if you can hear the purring. She's going kind of crazy. But, yes, I love you. Anyways, he would probably leave it at that and just leave and report back. But considering the recent events and that Nat won early, you gotta respect this. I think he's gonna step into the cave and he's gonna have his not only his so that dagger, hunting dagger that he got from them is probably closer to like a short sword for him. That probably looks pretty intimidating. So it has that out, and he's going to step sort of out into to where this man can sort of like see him almost. And he's simply going to say, "Who are you?"
You come into my house and ask who I am? Youth these days, so lost. No respect for the elders.
That was a genuine question. Who are you? To make such a suggestion as to allow an ally to let themselves be captured, and who knows what else.
Do you really think that we will ever deal with the songless if we stick to the same strategies that have kept us bottled up here for 1,000 years? Our people used to ride dragons. Our people used to burn the skies. We ruled the world once upon a time, and now, hiding in a valley, it's a shame.
How old? Remind me the age of Toman. I'm trying to think of how old this person would be.
He's probably 400 years, you're guessing, by looking at him.
Let me check.
Probably less. It's hard. When you bond with an animal, you begin to share lifespans. And so if you bond with something that's short-lived, you could like reach max age really quickly. Or if you bond with something that's long-lived, it could take you a long time. So there's like awkward wiggle room, but he's a snake dude. 300, 400 years, you'd guess?
So he would have been probably alive during the time where the quote-unquote great betrayal happened, right? Where they essentially sacrificed our own people. No, not sacrificed, but that was what was it? What did they do? They slew beasts, right? That's what they did, and had them rebond. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Gray thinks for a moment. Also, wait, the new generation started around 300 years ago. I'm trying to remember this history. Lost generation. Okay, so looking at how old, considering how old this guy is and the stories that Gray's heard, and I think last week we went over the history, he's probably putting two and two together. I'm looking at the like 300 years ago thing, and
Mm-hmm.
he sort of thinks and he says, "You have lived a long life. You have surely tried many methods. What have you seen work? What do you know about them? Do you truly think that simply surrendering one of our own is the path forward?"
I think our greatest strengths are our greatest weaknesses. Empathy, connection to others, a sense of home and belonging. It ties us. There's no courage in our race. There's no vigor in our people. Why would anyone risk their lives? Why would anyone risk the pain of losing your own when we could stay safe? There's no courage in the Toman. We're a dying breed.
Gray is silent, and he's thinking very, very hard. Because this sort of does hit home a bit. There's a few sort of like conflicting themes here and ideas with this man, but also some things that sort of resonate through the idea of, first of all, the idea of loss. One is a big one. Being on the outside. And he's realizing that like a lot of Tomen live comfortable lives, right? They don't want to risk it. And he's like, I have not lived a comfortable life. And he's also sort of like in an existential state right now. So he's conflicted. Remember, he's not that experienced. And I can probably give this old, very clearly cunning old man can probably tell that he's a little bit conflicted at the moment, not sure how to proceed or what to say.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to keep his expression unreadable, but it's
Yeah. The old man, who still hasn't given you his name, just sort of shakes his head in that way that like it's that shake of I just can't be bothered to even be disgusted with you, right? It's that dismissive sort of like self-righteous, self-superior head shake. And he goes back to arranging his bed in a comfortable manner and, you know, cleaning out one of his cups. He heads over to the little stream that leaves the cave and begins to fill up a clay cup with some water.
And what have you ever done? What have you ever done to show courage?
He'll stand up with his cup of water. I tried. I followed Leolis. I followed his ways. I have lost so many beasts in my day. I have come so close to death. I have started from the beginning over and over. And you know where it got me? Nowhere. It's too big a task to do alone. And there's no unity. There's no teamwork. We're a passive people.
Not all
I'm
of
tired
us.
of it.
I think Gray, he sort of looks at the blade he took from one of the blade that he took from the Songless. Stares at it for a moment. He can probably, even though he's cleaned it, taking good care of it, he can probably still see their blood on it. Thinks for a while. I would like to hear your story again. but I must report more thoroughly. His words aren't coming very well. That sort of naive little, what have you ever done, right? Like the younger generation looking at the older generation, like, what have you ever done? He's very lost at the moment, struggling, and he thinks for a moment. Unity.
That's what they have. That's why they're destined to win. Why we're destined to die out. That's why I'm here. That's why I have this shrine. To spend my last days growing peace with my fate. Our fate.
Have you truly given up then?
Loomis is not our god. Relkor is. Darkness is. Rossi, the end times. These are our deities.
I think Gray looks at this eye, looks at this old man, and thinks for a moment, and then he just sort of tosses the knife. Not like at him, but like toss it to like at his feet. And then says, if you're ready to die, then die. There are still others who will fight.
Oh. Well. We'll see. We'll see. Go now. You're disturbing my rest.
Yeah, he's gonna turn around at that and walk away, contemplating.
Well, our party will inevitably meet up again after you've gone through an arduous thing. You always need to decompress with your friends who have gone through it, you know, a day or so later. So let's just skip on to the next day. I assume you go and berate Barra Blue for being so foolish as to getting captured.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. It is the.
But I do so
Go ahead.
in a way that ends, as I've learned as a cleric, with compassion, you know, strong words of admonishment, but in the end, reminding him that we're a community and need to take care of each other, and that despite his mistakes, he can always come to me if he is in need.
Yeah. Well, party, you do reconvene together in your, I don't know. I think you're all fairly southerners as far as Toman go. Crocodipolis is at the north end of the swamp. You would go for ceremonies or to maybe get things that you can't get or sell, you know, give away things that you have too much of. There's a lot of reasons to visit, but you wouldn't, you know, be hanging out there all the time. Right. So probably down towards the south side of the swamp, our party will naturally reconvene to reprocess on the 11th of April. What's it like when you all get back together again? Is there pain? Is there joy? What's the feeling?
Question: does Iskar know that Gray followed the old man?
It's quite possible. I think so. The old man was slow moving and he was talking directly to you. And then when he left, I imagine Iskar was like, what the fuck is going on? And then you would have seen Gray walk off and probably seen the hawk circling above. You could put two and two together.
Maybe even if you didn't see Gray, you would have probably recognized Mithra by now. That they're like flying patterns, you know?
Yeah.
Gray looks like he hasn't slept very well.
My friends, we need to make sure that not more people fall into the hands of these beasts. We need to make sure that people stay inside the borders, and we should probably call a meeting or something for the village and make sure we reiterate the rules and reiterate the importance. Maybe we can have Blue tell his story And it's just, this cannot keep happening. It's too dangerous.
I can't stop thinking about what that old man was saying. I haven't slept at all. It's kept me up all night.
Did your father not advise you to do something?
He advised me to keep the borders secure, to make sure that nobody leaves anymore, and that we make sure to keep people out of danger. We can't keep going out like this. It's simply, Illumis didn't lead us here into the sacred land for us to leave all the time. If anything, it's disrespectful. Who's this old man you're talking about?
Gray, you talked to him, didn't you? What did he say?
Gray's quiet for a moment. The same thing he told you in more words. A follower of Leolis. Bitter, angry.
What he was saying that stood out to me is what he would want is opposite of what your father would want. He wants us to put our people on the line for the history of our people, to sacrifice what we have now to pave the way for the future generations. He wants us to surrender some of our people and get taken captive.
Preposterous. Absolutely preposterous. What is this man mad?
Yes. But
seems like this is coming from somewhere, though. He has history. I think
he has
knows
lived and
that we
lost
don't.
more than any of us have. He has done something. Is he mad, perhaps? Mad with grief, pain, loss? It's difficult to tell. But on the contrary perspective, I ask again, what did your father advise you to do? And I emphasize the word do. What action did he advise you to take?
I guess he didn't specify an action, but it's clear that he means that we need to stop this from going on. We need to keep our people safe. I mean, sure, the trimming of the claws and the keeping safe over land, but it can't keep happening that we go venturing out there where who knows what could happen, where we're not safe, not protected by Illumis.
My family wasn't protected by Illumis.
Yeah, maybe they should have been.
We should ask the old man what he thinks about the trimming of the claws and why we do it and have done it for so long. Maybe there might be an answer there to what we should do next.
Great. I'm having a hard time reading you. I spend a lot of time talking to other Tomen, and it seems like your heart is closed. It seems like you don't let the light in. What do you feel in this moment? What do you think we should do? It seems like you disagree, but where do you think Illumis is guiding us right now?
Gray looks between the two of them. It's probably fascinating to him to look at them. They're so opposed. When it comes to talk to me more about the Keepers of the Sun and Moon, Koibu, and what sort of advisement role they actually take. Like, suppose you wanted to speak to someone because we are a pretty loose society, right? But surely, if you want to go to someone to just like general advice on the Tomen people and whatnot, are the Keepers the ones you would go to?
Yeah, the Keeper of the Sun deals with like the world around us, the gods, like the external things, and the Keeper of the Moon deals more with like the self and the soul and the origins of the Toman. The internal. They're great advisors. Their job, let's say, the Keepers of the Sun and Moon don't bond with animals. They keep themselves like sort of pure in a weird way. That means they have an extra empathy for creatures, all creatures, which gives them, unique and useful insight. They're not tied to a way of thinking.
Are there
all
any
first level.
setting suns or waning moons that we know of?
Let's see if in this era there is a setting sun, or a waning moon. Which, for those of you, there are a couple rules here, right? There's the Keeper of the Sun. There's a few of them. There's the Keeper of the Moon. There's a few of them. And every now and then, once in a generation, a Keeper of the Sun and a Keeper of the Moon will bond together. Because Toman can technically bond with each other. It's just a really incestuous thing because you feel the other people's emotions, and if it's like a romantic thing, and then you feel love, and then you feel the other love of the person, and then they just wind up like, puddling to death and ignoring everything else. It's really like kind of gross and looked down upon. But there is a Keeper of the Sun and Moon, which is when you get two Toman who are like romantically incompatible. Like a gay man and a lesbian woman or something like that, where they can bond together without those sort of weird incestuous feelings come up, to give sort of an extra sense of, it's sort of like the highest form of self-sacrifice that you could do, because you're not getting any additional bonds. You're also giving up all sorts of love. You're giving up basically everything in order to help serve the people. After, a generation of service, these Keepers of the Sun and Moon then like leave society and go off to like try and live some semblance of a life for themselves. And then after they're gone, if one of them dies from accidents or whatever, the reliving one would be a setting sun or a waning moon. And they're rare, they don't always exist. And if they do, you only have really like one setting sun or one waning moon. So let's just roll a die to see if we have any. Let's say the high numbers are good for us. A 16. There definitely is a setting sun or a waning moon. We have a setting sun. A former Keeper of the Sun who bonded, spent a lifetime advising, then left, only for his partner to die. And now he's here alone. An elder Toman with no responsibilities whatsoever, deeply honored, but usually sort of alone in a cave or a hut. People will bring him food, people will pay him honors, and he's been given sort of like, you've done enough. We will take care of you. Please live out your life in peace. Seeking them out for advice is not impossible, but they've sort of like, they've done their duty for civilization, is the general vibe if you care deeply about tradition. Does that answer your questions?
It does, beautifully, actually. Gray thinks for a moment and looks at two of them. I think we should seek advisement from our opposing views. Perhaps you should seek out the old man or another such extreme, and he's noting towards Alabaster. Ask them what they think. He turns towards Moxi. Or sorry, not Iskar. And perhaps you should visit Alabaster's father or another steward of order. Get their perspective. I will seek out the setting sun. And then we can speak again. Our views are too conflicted. Our people divided with no... It is difficult to know what we should do. Perhaps we should listen to those we do not usually listen to, or interact with.
I don't see why talking to a man who's clearly gone mad after his many years on this earth would help, but if it brings us along, and I do think that Iskar would greatly benefit from having a conversation with my father, so it seems only fair that I put weight on the other side of that scale.
Very well. If you'll put yourself out there and speak to the old man, then I'll meet with your father and hear what he has to say. I think I know what he'll say, but I will hear him out.
Okay. The party heads off to meet with these different people and come back the next day or so. Well, let's take them one at a time. Last time we ended with Peach House. Let's start with Peach House this time. Who are you seeking out? That old kook in the cave?
I feel like that's the best option, unless I would know where else to go with this. I feel like this is...
I mean, your dad sort of represents a very common traditional thinking of Toman. If you're looking for someone outside the box, that crazy old man in a cave might be... I don't know if he's a good source, but he's definitely an opposing view.
I think that's the way to go.
Gray can give him directions.
Yeah, not a problem. You find him. You find the old man in a cave. He's got a shrine out front to Verasi, goddess of endings, the Grim Reaper, and to Falumbra, the goddess of souls, from which we all depart and then eventually return. And then as you approach the cave, the little shriney thingy has a snake coiled around it that gives you like a bit of a hiss as you come by. Not a threatening hiss, just an acknowledging this is my space hiss.
I think, you know, I'm kind of imagining that bonded creatures in this society can at some points be like a status symbol, right?
Quite certainly.
And I feel like, at least for being bonded to an elk, that's a pretty big deal. That's like maybe it's not like you're driving like a Maserati or anything, but like you got something, you know? It's definitely something that like people will look at. So I think he happily, especially when he goes to places like this, or he goes to visit someone, you know, or he's on a mission somewhere, he will, even if he doesn't need Dom here, he would take him with him. And I'm imagining that he brings him along to this as well, and kind of, you know, instructs him or agrees with him that he will wait outside as he goes inside. Also as a kind of show of, you know, strength and power to show up here with your big elk.
Yeah, your elk stays outside, sort of near the snake. You can approach the cave, and from within, the old man rolls a 19 on his perception check, sees you coming, and hobbles towards the front, leaning on his curved, twisted walking stick as you approach. Child of light, welcome to my darkened cave.
We're all childs of Illumis, children of Illumis. It's a pleasure to see you. I was wondering if I could have a word with you.
Oh, who wants to listen to the old man up in the mountains?
I'm not really sure either, but it feels like it's something that I might have to do. Listen, There's disarray. There's... What's the opposite of unity? Is there disunity?
There is disunity, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's a word.
There's disunity. It seems like us clerics, us followers of Illumis, we're not able to rally people. We're not able to convince them that what we're doing is for the best. And he's having the kind of conversation with him right now where he doesn't even... I think he's not even here to like actually hear what he says. He just, you know, wants to say his shit and get his feelings out. I'm sure he'll get a response. But right now he's mostly he's gonna like continue talking because he doesn't even want the response at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And of course we know what to do. We know that our way is right, and we know that Loomis showed us this land to keep us safe because the world outside is not. And but people, I'm sure you've heard the story of Elki. It can't go on like this. The people keep venturing off, and then we have to send more people to save them. The lands outside, they're not for us, and I'm convinced. I know that we shouldn't go there. That we should stay safe where we are, and that the Songless, they're beasts, they're monsters. But this is what we've always done. This is where we belong. This is where Illumis knows that we can be safe.
Then cast out your elk and find yourself a crocodile, so you can lay in the comfort of the barrier and bask in the sunshine and fill your tummy and never think a single thought.
Well, I would hope that we could all bask inside the barrier. We have everything we need in here.
Yes.
We have food, we have water, we have festivities, we have family, we have our children, we have all those things we value deeply. What is there for us to get outside? What is there to leave this land for?
Do you have children?
I hope to someday meet a beautiful wife that I could have a family with.
Have you ever raised chickens? You know, you have to tend to your flock. You have to keep them safe from harm. So we build a little cage, a little coop, a little wall to keep them in, maybe lay branches across it. But every now and then, a fox will slip between the branches through a crack in the wall. And when you come back the next morning, your hens are slaughtered, heads ripped off, carcasses found, naught but feet remaining. And you say, well, let's just stay in the hen house. And I say there are foxes out there. There are foxes trying to get in. Whether they know it or not, it is their instinct. And if you say, well, let's just stay in the hen house, that will work up until the day it doesn't, and then it will be too late. You should take a trip north. You should go over the mountains. Take the northern ridge. Take it as far as you can and climb to the peak. There, you'll see what I mean.
Songless breaking through the barrier. Impossible.
It's
Why would
been
Illumis
done
guide us here if it
before.
wasn't safe?
The barrier used to extend much further. A whole valley maybe a fifth the space of our current territory. Great lands, fertile, plenty of trees, lovely creatures. But the songless, in their curiosity, stumbled across one of these stones, one of these ancient stones that our forebearers forgot to care for. And they ripped them up, cracked them open, and the barrier on that side fell. They'll do it again. It's only a matter of time until the songless stumble across one of the components, one of the anchor points, and crack it open for their own greed, their hunger, their lust, their curiosity, which is our downfall, but perhaps also our savior. If we do nothing, if we let them encroach forever, we're dooming maybe not ourselves, but our children, or maybe our children's children. They are parasites. They would seek our destruction, and you would have us just wait, depending on gifts from 1,000 generations ago to keep us safe? Go on, elk. Go bask in the sun. Go bond with a crocodile. Leave us be. Let us die slowly, without realizing it's coming. Let us be like the chickens, unaware that we're being raised to have our heads chopped off and our livers picked out.
It's blasphemous what you're saying. That Illumis would lead us into a cage like that where we have to be slaughtered.
Do you think Illumis leads us?
Of course.
When was the last time he came here? When was the last time he spoke to you?
He speaks to me every day during prayer when I hear the sounds of the forest and the beasts. Alabaster is getting frustrated not because he's so offended by what he's hearing, but because he's kind of getting scared that this person might be right. So
this crazy old man who lives by himself up in the mountains, away from the rest of society? I don't know.
The fact that he's making like a convincing point is needling Alabaster in a way, because he's not been raised to stand up to challenges of his faith and his convictions like this. He's been told how to convince others and how to convince people that have doubt, but someone like this with way more experience, who's way older, who's heard all this bullshit before, he was not prepared for this. You're mad. All these years, the loneliness in the mountains, you've gone mad. You can't be trusted.
That's what they always say. That's what they said when I went out to hunt the children of the songless. When I sent my pythons to strangle them in their beds. That's what they said then. And that's what your children will say when you find that beautiful wife, right up until the songless strangle your children in their own beds.
I'll see that the people of my village are convinced not to visit you anymore. Good day.
You'll be back! You'll be back, elk!
Alabaster rides Dom here. It gets onto Dom here and tries to get out of here as quickly as possible, trying to shake the thoughts of doubt and fear that have been sowed within him.
All right. Let's flip over to Iskar Green. Who are you seeking out?
Alabaster's father.
Alabaster, what's your father's name? Or should I give him one?
White of Ivory.
White of Ivory. Thank you. Okay. So, Iskar. Is this the first time you're meeting White of Ivory? Do you have a passing relationship? Okay.
Yes.
First time. Well, he's a cleric. He's got an elk. He's a respectable man around town. You know? He's the sort of person you would go to because you value his opinion. Traditionally, most people. I know you're a little other, but this is a man of some mysticism. And you can approach him he's outside, giving an instructive lesson to some youths about the nature of the sun and why we should bask in the warmth because it's a symbol for the dark times that may come. He's giving like a little something. And when it wraps up, he's noticed that you've been waiting, and boldly, he'll walk up to you. Are you looking for guidance? I don't think I know you. I am White of Ivory, and this is my elk. Who are you?
I'm Iskar Green. You don't know me, but I know your son, Alabaster. And he suggested to me that maybe I seek you out to find the guidance that I might be looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you can feel it. I know we can all feel it. There's a big shift happening. I'm not the only one who's questioning everything we know around us, this whole existence. And I know you, like your son, are probably one for tradition, but I need your help.
Okay.
What I'm going to tell you might sound crazy, and it's probably going to go against everything that you believe in. But if I'm to start the revolution that I think our people need, I need help from you with someone with your influence.
Revolution? What sort of children's games are we playing?
I sense that what we know about the barrier is not completely true. I have a feeling that everything we know might be a lie and is not what it appears to be. What can you tell me? What do you know about the barrier, the history of it?
It was made long, long ago by a friend who saw our people suffering, who watched the magic slip from this world, who saw a once mighty people able to bond, control, dominate even the mightiest creatures around, relegated to the simple, natural animals. My elk Horner here is a lovely creature. I feel what he feels. I feel his happiness, his pain, his sorrow, his joy. But let us be frank about these lovely companions. They are but dumb beasts. Elegant, beautiful, amazing, filled with life and wonders, but dumb beasts indeed. It's not how it always was. Our past, our future, was stripped from us by the outside, the unknown, as magic faded, as the primeval nature of this world decayed. And our great friend, lost to time, came through, built the 3 cornerstones on the 3 mountains, built the anchors, all 8 of them, and preserved this valley, both in its magic and in its protection. And we have sat within its shelter for 1,000 generations, peacefully, without fear of outside, without knowing war, without knowing suffering, beyond what the gods demand of us. A young man like you may feel there is something amiss in this world, but that is just youth. That is energy to make change when we have the perfect life. You see the songless fight each other. You see them kill, capture, torture, rip the earth up, strip out its bones, melt them with heat. To what end? Have you seen their cities? Crowded, overcrowded even, stuffed with sickness passing amongst them, coughing, hacking, wheezing, their hair falling out. No. The outside world is filled with ills and evil from a sickly world. We are the last spot of hope. Revolution? Only in children's games. Only for the fun of it. Only to make believe.
The outside world may be sick, but why should it remain that way? Why should we leave it to just rot around us? What if we can do something about that?
Oh.
What if the true nature of the songless hasn't always been the way it is now? What if they ended up this way for a reason? I have a feeling
probably through
that
their
you're
own
not.
doing. They've probably deserved this, don't you think?
Why would they deserve this, though? I have a feeling you're not being forthcoming. I feel like you know more than you're telling me. And I'm sure your son told you what we encountered out there, what happened to us. And your son is strong in his faith. I can sense that. And I respect it. But I can see it starting to slip a little bit, maybe. I think your son is also starting to maybe question everything that he thought he's known all this time. Maybe your teachings of Illumis. Maybe your son is questioning that too.
We all question tradition and doctrine and faith at one time or another. And yet, we all come out on the other side a little wiser with our years. Do not be hasty, young Toman. Life is long. Life is very long. There's plenty of time to make your decisions. Do not let your eagerness and haste lead you to foolishness.
And
The outside
if I
world.
were to rally enough Toman to seek beyond the walls, what then? Would you try to stop me?
If you
Would you let
could
us go?
convince all of our people to rush forth and do battle with the evil songless. Oh, I
We'll just
don't
have
know.
to
That's
see.
like asking what I would do if a fish started to fly. It's absurd upon the face of it. I suppose if you convinced them all, you would have convinced me too.
I see. Well, in that case, I know what I have to do then. I think the next time we meet, this conversation may go a little differently.
Good. I'm glad you've seen reason. I'm glad that you've seen wisdom. It's best to take our time and talk things through, figure things out before we act with haste and recklessness. Talk to the others, and then come see me again.
Thank you
Go
for your
with the
time. It
light.
was a pleasure. We may not see eye to eye, but I understand why you are so strong in your beliefs.
I admire your tenacity and courage. I look forward to seeing you again. And I think with that, you depart. And that leaves us with Gray of Morning Mist. You're seeking out the setting sun, right?
I think what happens here is Gray probably does. He probably does seek them out. And describe. Actually, I'll say this: when he seeks them out, how does he find them? Like, what is the circumstances? Because you mentioned they're a little secluded.
Yeah. The current setting sun lives atop this mountain at the far end of the valley. It might actually take you a little while to get there, like a couple days, perhaps. And then he is on top of the mountain. It's no ordinary mountain. This is a dormant volcano that has a large caldera at the top. You've probably been there just as a matter of exploring high places, since you're bonded to a hawk. You like to fly. You like to get up high. And you know that he lives up there near that area, but it's a journey. It'll take a while to get there. You can go, up the river, which is nice and easy. Your movement rate's only 20, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, so it'll take you a few days to get there unless you can, hitch a ride on an elk or a deer or something like that. Oxen often, will help slower toemen travel just because it's in their nature to just plod without regard for the weight. So maybe a couple days. Or is that getting in your way? Is that too far for you?
I don't think it's too far for him, but I think upon considering that journey, he's the others are relatively close and they want to meet again. And he thinks for a while, and I think for some reason he sort of has this very strange feeling that he doesn't want to meet them yet. He has this feeling that he doesn't know what he wants to know. He for some reason he feels this compulsion to speak to them, to ask, to understand something, because it's someone who's lived for a long time and has been sort of had lost and lived within their society and now is detached from it. But there's some hesitation, and I think it's one of those things where he's feeling a sense of nervousness, almost like as if meeting them is it's not a rational thought. It's almost as if meeting them is some sort of existential crisis he's not ready to face. But the fact that it's a long journey is like, oh, conveniently, I have to meet up with them, right? I may as well do this another time, right? So I think he's going to put it off for now and sort of, quite frankly, cope with the idea of, oh, I'm just being pragmatic. But in reality, for some reason, he's a little... Something about that meeting, there's no rational basis in it, just makes him nervous.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do instead?
It's an excellent question. What they're gonna probably take a day or so, each of them, around there.
Yeah.
I think Gray is just going to ponder for a while. Just ponder and be a little bit aimless and restless. Normally they've had this, even though they've been sort of on the fringes of society, they've had this sense of like constantly shifting like water, drifting along the edges. And they're just pacing very... It's almost like an entire day of pacing and doing nothing, just being restless, not being at ease, still trying to like wash their hands too much, still thinking about that, like what that old man said. And they're probably just watching the other Tomen, living their lives, It's one of those very strange experiences in the day where he's just not sure what to do with himself. And he's sort of looking around and really does feel detached from the society in a sense. And it's just sort of waiting on the others.
Okay. Well, we will all meet up again the next day at our prearranged time, prearranged place, and report back. What have we learned? What have we thought? What have we found? How have our goals aligned or separated? Peachel, kick us off.
Yeah, I think that where the three of us are meeting again here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Alabaster will approach basically what Alabaster is hoping for right now, because he is so conflicted. He hopes and feels like there's a pretty good chance that, you know, he knows his father, and he looks up to his father, that even though he couldn't talk sense into Iskar, his father surely could, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna walk up to Iskar. Iskar, my friend, puts a hand on his shoulder. How was your conversation with my father? He's quite learned and wise, isn't he?
Yeah, I sense great strength from him. I understand why he has the reputation he does amongst our people. I can sense great power, but I can't help but question what he told me. He talked a bit of the history of our people, why our society is set up the way it is, why we live within these barriers. And I just have this feeling that it's not all what we think. I feel like he is hiding something from me. Maybe even from you, maybe from all of us. I know this is tough for you to hear.
Everybody's going mad. What did my father even tell you? What are you talking about?
The nature of this barrier we live within, it wasn't always the way it was. I think we need to find the truth. The lands outside, there's a reason that they don't want us there, and they never did. I think we need to seek that out. You know, we got an idea, but the Songless, I don't think they are just these wild savages like we think they are. I think there's a reason we see them the way we do. And I think your father, believe it or not, can be convinced. If enough people can convince him and come together that we should go seek further outside the walls and seek out the true nature of the Songless, I think he can be swayed.
I think that is the only way that we could drive our species into extinction. It's the only way we could ensure our people's demise. The old man in the mountains, he was also talking about this, the barrier, and he told me to seek out the mountains in the north, and Alabaster says this probably more as a cope than anything. We should head up to that location, and we could prove, if we could go there and prove that there's nothing there, that we are safe here, then
From you two specifically, is how different our people really are. How divided we are. That is something that he has said that is true. There are things that your father has said that are also true, the importance of unity. I think, too, we defeated one of the songless, but we had an advantage. They're bigger, they're stronger than us. I think we need to adapt and learn. I have questions, and I think we can find them to the north. That is also where the setting sun resides, who may offer different perspectives. But for some reason, I feel
Yeah,
that
there's proof there that-
you two are important in what you represent. I feel the inclination to follow you.
I think we should go up there to the north, and we should. If this idea spreads more, it's dangerous. I have to convince you and the others. We need to stay within these barriers. Venturing out there, venturing from the hidden path that Illumis has revealed to us. It's certain death, but if that's what it takes, then Illumis will guide me there, and I'll make sure that everyone knows that we can trust him.
Iskar smiles almost mischievously, even because he's thinking, all paths are leading to us going to the north to see what is there, to see what we're going to find. And Iskar knows that Alabaster thinks we're going to find the reason to call this whole thing off and just kind of keep the status quo as it is. But Iskar thinks it's going to be the exact opposite. And the truth is going to start this revolution that Iskar keeps talking about. So he just kind of smiles and says, well, it sounds like it's decided. We go north. We find the truth.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that's where we're going to end our session for the day. Let's dole out some experience. The group gets 200 for the battle, 200 for the rescue, 200 for the RP, divided by 3 people is 200 each. I do believe you hit level 2 at 300 experience, so not quite there, but very close. Almost inevitably.
Where's the experience on the fucking 2E, 5E sheets? I see it. Okay, yeah. Top right.
Inevitably, we'll run into some conflict or role-playing event next session that will get you at least the 100 you need to get you to your next level.
Hell yeah.
And that's going to be it for today's Dicelocke.
Great session. Very
Amazing.
I feel that we really defined the characters more.
Yes.
A better idea. Then that was probably the best, and our circumstances world, which is the most fascinating thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really cool tension between the characters, and it's super cool. We can stop our recordings.